Nicole looked at her old friend Gail and could hardly hold back her tears. Gail was fidgeting in front of the mirror in the wedding salon, trying on various snow-white dresses. The friends hadn't seen each other for 2 weeks, and last night Gail had called Nicole to ask her for help choosing the perfect dress. Nicole shivered as she clutched the phone. "What? You're getting married?" "Well, yes. Why are you so surprised?" "To Arnold. Nicole, did you just wake up?" "Of course it's Arnold. Who else would I marry? We've been dating for 1.5 years. It's about time we became husband and wife. Wait, aren't you happy about it?" Nicole hurried to whisper, "Of course I'm glad." It was just 1.5 years ago that Nicole had first met Arnold. But within 3 days of their acquaintance, the beautiful, self-assured Gail had won him over. Since then, Nicole had shed many tears, dreaming of and longing for Arnold. Gail did not seem to notice it, and every time she met Nicole, she bragged about the details of her relationship with her boyfriend. Gail had plenty to tell. Their love had never been smooth or calm. They often quarrelled violently, but reconciled just as passionately. "I met with Marrett for 2 days while Arnold and I were fighting. Can you imagine? He has such a luxurious apartment." "You've been to his place?" "Of course. We had fun at the club, then went to his place." "What about Arnold?" "We had a fight that day, so I got back at him. A couple of days later, he called and offered to make up. I said yes, of course. Marrett is boring. We have nothing to talk about." "Does Arnold know about Marrett?" "Are you crazy?" "No, and don't you dare tell him. Understand?" Nicole could only wonder at this. She couldn't imagine how Gail could offend Arnold so disgustingly. But the girls only laughed at her bewilderment. "Well, what did you expect?" Gail chuckled. "I won't let anyone boss me around. But still, my Arnold is the best. One day, I'll surely be his wife." And now she was trying on her wedding dress, excited about her upcoming wedding. "Gail," Nicole asked, "how did Arnold propose to you?" "He hasn't yet, but I found out he wants to do it beautifully for my birthday. It's on Saturday, remember? I hope to be at Camelot by 6 o'clock to celebrate. I'm just in a good mood, so I decided to look for a dress beforehand." Nicole gasped. "Gail, but that's bad luck." "Nonsense. I don't believe in omens." Gail continued to admire herself in the mirror. "You better tell me, does this dress fit me better or the one with the lace sleeves?" "Both look excellent on you." Nicole suppressed a sigh, remembering the tender kisses Arnold had once given her during the first days of their acquaintance. How she wished she were in Gail's place. But could she even dream of it? "Okay, I'll buy the one with lace sleeves on Sunday. I like it better, even though it's more expensive. Listen, Nicole, let's go to a cafe. I have so much news for you." Nicole nodded. She had long wanted to leave the bridal salon and berated herself for agreeing to this voluntary agony. Gail didn't even have an opportunity to begin her stories, however. As they sat down at a table on the veranda, a short, overweight girl ran up to them and shouted at Gail, heedless of the attention she was attracting. "Ah, there you are, you shameless girl! How dare you jump into other people's beds? Tom told me everything about how you were fooling around with him. He loves me, but he went with you because he was drunk, and you took advantage of that. You weren't even at that party. You're just staring at me. You think I'm lying?" "Shut up!" Gail burst out. "Tie your precious Tom to your skirt if you want him by your side always. It's my business what I do." "Because of you, we had a fight, and I'm pregnant by him. Do you understand?" "Well, congratulations," Gail snapped back. "What do I care? I don't need your Tom. You think I'm just going to let this go? No, my dear. I'll get back at you. You'll see." "Get out of here! Go to your Tom! Hold on to him with both hands!" shouted Gale, but the girls showed no sign of retreating. Then Nicole stood up and spoke quietly to her, pulling her aside. "Let's move away. Why attract attention? You're expecting a baby, think about that. My name is Nicole. What's yours?" "Tina!" the girl suddenly sobbed. "There's no need to cry, Tina. Everything will be all right. Just calm down. Stop shouting. You're making it worse for the baby." For a long time, Nicole coaxed the sobbing Tina. When she returned to the table, Gale was no longer there. It was Saturday. Nicole came to Gale's birthday party with a present and a bouquet of flowers. The first person she met was Arnold. She said hello and lowered her eyes, and he gave her a long, attentive look as she passed by. The birthday girl, beautiful as ever, was especially radiant and cheerful today. She accepted the gifts from Nicole and waved her hand. "Make yourself comfortable. I don't have time for you right now, so go ahead." Nicole went to the far table and sat down, not wanting to show her sadness to anyone. She hadn't wanted to come to the party, but she couldn't resist the temptation to see Arnold up close again. He was so handsome and smiled so charmingly that her heart sank with love. Nicole watched him take the bouquet and the microphone in his hands and sing about the best girl in the world. Gale looked at everyone present with a triumphant expression. Then Arnold, continuing to sing, came down from the stage and walked past her, heading towards Nicole. "Nicole, you are the most beautiful girl who is to be my wife. I will do anything to make you happy with me, and I ask you to marry me." Nicole pressed her palms to her cheeks, feeling her face flush. "Am I dreaming? This can't be true. Arnold had wanted to marry Gale, but here he was proposing to her." "Nicole, do you accept?" "Yes," she said quietly, and cried when he slipped the ring on her finger. "Arnold, what is this?" Gale shouted, breaking free from her friend's restraining hands. "I'm sorry. It's just that it's been revealed to me, all the garbage about you," Arnold replied, "thanks to Tina." 2 months passed. All this time Nicole hadn't spoken to Gale. The night Arnold proposed to her, Gale had run out of the restaurant in a rage, and Nicole was so stunned by her sudden happiness that she completely forgot about her friend. The next day she tried to call Gale many times and came to her house, but Gale had left town. Then, on the day of the wedding, Nicole saw her, still beautiful and self-confident. "Well, friend," Gale said, handing her flowers, "I wish you happiness. You probably deserve it more than I do." "Gale, I..." Nicole whispered. "Oh, I know all about it. You've been in love with him for a long time, so I wish you all the best in your married life." Now Nicole was truly happy. A weight had lifted from her soul, and she accepted congratulations from the guests, not noticing the glances exchanged between Arnold and Gale. In the latter's eyes burned a flame of triumph. She was ready for revenge, and she had no intention of retreating from her plan. 6 months passed. Nicole and Arnold lived well and spent a lot of time together. However, they were often joined by Gale, who always had an excuse to visit her friends. Sometimes she even stayed overnight. On Nicole's birthday, which Arnold suggested celebrating with their friends, Gale was on fire. She laughed a lot, danced, and nearly brought down the house at the karaoke bar. When she wanted to go out for fresh air, Arnold noticed how the girl staggered and offered to help her. Nicole, not objecting at all, nodded to her spouse. "Of course, go. Just come back quickly. I have a surprise for you." She couldn't leave the guests unattended, but when the microphone began to make its way towards them, Nicole noticed that Arnold hadn't returned yet. Apologising, she went searching for him. Her husband was nowhere to be found. As darkness fell, Nicole stood on the steps of the bar, dialing a familiar number. She didn't know what to think. A muffled ringtone sounded nearby. Bewildered, she stepped into the dusk of the juniper bushes surrounding the building. There stood Arnold, his back to her, pressing Gail against the wall. Gail, head tilted back, clung to him desperately. Her arms around Arnold were pale in the darkness, and her broken whisper seemed to deafen Nicole. "I miss you so much. I can't—" Just then, Gail looked up and saw her friend. Time seemed to freeze as they locked eyes. Nicole, stunned, turned and walked away. It's impossible to convey the thoughts and feelings tearing her apart. Memories flashed before her eyes. Gail asking Arnold to help with new sofa from the store. Arnold opening the door with a strange smile, saying, "We have guests. Gail has come just 10 minutes before you." And Gail emerging from the bathroom fixing her hair. That night when she stayed at their place, watching a mindless movie with Arnold until late. Sobs choked Nicole. How could he? What was he missing? What about her pregnancy, which she hadn't yet told him about? What now? Returning home, she hastily packed her things, called a cab and left, deciding not to wait for her husband. Arnold, unaware that Nicole had seen everything, returned to the bar with Gail. He was surprised to find his wife gone. Friends told him she had gone looking for them and never returned. Arnold frowned and turned to Gail, who was heading for the exit with an indifferent look. "What do you know?" he asked, grabbing her arm. "That I've had my revenge on you both, and now I'm leaving. Neither you nor your foolish wife interests me. Goodbye." "What did you say?" "I knew if I beckoned you'd come running. You've been cheating on her with me all this time because you love me." "No, I hate you," Arnold exclaimed as she tried to embrace him with a goodbye kiss. "You're a viper." Months passed. Arnold searched for his wife, who seemed to have vanished forever. On a warm May afternoon, Nicole left the maternity hospital with her newborn son. With no one to meet her, she took her discharge papers and quietly exited. She had barely taken 2 steps when she froze in amazement. Arnold stood before her, holding an enormous bouquet. Seeing his wife, he knelt, offering her the flowers. "Nicole, my love," he pleaded, "I found you at last. You and our son. Please forgive me for everything. I can't live without you. I love you so much." "I love you too, Arnold," Nicole whispered. "I love you and forgive you, though I don't know if you need it." "I need it desperately, my love. Believe me, I've changed, and we're going to have the best family in the world. May I hold my son?" Nicole handed the baby to him, and Arnold cradled the infant gently. Only then did he realize the depth of this woman's love, and how he would cherish her for the rest of his life.